Hello, this is Dr. Paul Firnhaber. It's Wednesday and time for another edition of 10 Minutes of Truth. This week, I'm going to cover an article out of the journal. It's called Annual Update in Intensive Care and Emergency Medicine. And this is an older article. It was published in 2013, so it's a little bit old, but it's very, very relevant. The name of the article is Autonomic Dysfunction is the Motor of Chronic Critical Illness. So let's just talk about what autonomic dysfunction is. So your autonomic nervous system is the part of your nervous system that controls the things that we don't think about. Controls your heartbeat, your breathing, digestion. It controls the formation and squirting of stomach acid into your stomach when you eat. It controls the squirting of gall or bile from your gallbladder into your small intestine. It controls bowel movements. It controls kidney function. It controls everything that you don't think about. Now, there's two parts of your autonomic nervous system, your sympathetic and your parasympathetic. Your sympathetic is engaged when you're under stress, okay? It's very important. That's very important because your body does certain things when you're under a stressful environment. You have acute stress or chronic stress. The other part of your autonomic nervous system is your parasympathetic system. That's a part of your autonomic nervous system that actually promotes and speeds healing in the body. So your body cannot heal when your sympathetic nervous system is dominant. When you're under fight or flight, your body cannot heal. Your body only heals when your parasympathetic nervous system is engaged and active in your body. And your autonomic nervous system, these two parts of the autonomic nervous system go back and forth, okay? And that creates something called heart rate variability. And heart rate variability is a test that can be done that tells how well your autonomic nervous system is working and really how healthy you are. So when these two are in balance and they're going back and forth and they're creating a lot of what we call heart rate variability, that shows a tremendous amount of health. So this particular article talks about autonomic nervous system dysfunction in illness. And it says many of the insults that lead to critical illness, such as sepsis, trauma, and major surgery, either cause or are perhaps the consequence of profound alterations in autonomic nervous system control. Several cardinal features of chronic illness support the assertion that autonomic nervous dysfunction is a core mechanism underlying the development and perpetuation of multi-organ failure. Although various techniques have been used to detect alterations in autonomic control in a wide range of diseases, chiefly among them is concentrating on the autonomic modulation of heart rate or heart rate variability in arterial baroreflex. Now, myocardial injury or heart disease can be induced by excessive sympathetic activity, so excessive engagement of the sympathetic nervous system through accumulation, and of intercellular calcium triggering myocardial necrosis. Now, pre-existing autonomic dysfunction prior to the insult predisposes patients to irreversible autonomic dysfunction. So pre-existing autonomic dysfunction, which could be chronic stress, okay, chronic emotional stress, chronic environmental stress like chronic cold or chronic heat, any kind of chronic stress is a predisposition to getting ill or getting sick or having chronic illness. The preservation of parasympathetic function which is otherwise rapidly reduced at the onset of critical illness, also limits organ injury through a range of mechanisms. The combination of sympathetic activation and the loss of parasympathetic cardiac modulation promotes a state of induced heart failure. So wouldn't you agree, and I know you've heard this, is that people under a lot of emotional stress tend to have more heart disease or heart attacks than people who aren't. And that's exactly what this has said. Neuroanatomical studies have demonstrated excessive sympathetic innervation of the thymus, spleen, lymph nodes, and bone marrow, in addition to parasympathetic innervation. And those areas of the body are part of the immune system. Sympathetic and parasympathetic neurotransmitters can modulate all aspects of the immune response, including cytokine production. And cytokines are the chemicals that are released when you have an immune response, and they give you a lot of the symptoms of illness that you feel. Lymphocyte proliferation and antibody secretion. So your immune system is tied in to this sympathetic parasympathetic balance. Now, one of the things that I want to point out to you is the vagus nerve, which goes from the brain to your visceral organs, is your primary parasympathetic nerve. And vagal nerve stimulation is something we do in our office. When the vagus nerve is compromised, then you tend to have a dominant of the sympathetic nervous system and chronic illness. Now, one of the things we know about chiropractic is chiropractic really helps balance the autonomic nervous system. And we have very, very good research that shows this. Research shows that chiropractic care increases heart rate variability, which measures the balance between parasympathetic and sympathetic. And when you have increased heart rate variability, now this is not irregular heartbeat, it's different than that. But heart rate variability shows that you have a greater ability to handle stress and a greater ability to heal. Chiropractic care enhances that, and we have studies that show that. So this whole article talks about how the autonomic nervous system is very, very much involved and even controls chronic and serious disease processes. And if you can kick in the parasympathetic nervous system to work better and to balance out the sympathetic nervous system, chances are you're not going to have these serious illnesses and these serious heart problems that this article talks about. So chiropractic care is greatly assists in this process of balancing out the autonomic nervous system. Now, also we do vagal nerve stim here in the office, which also does that as well. And other things balance it out. Like, for example, eating a healthy diet is very helpful to the vagus nerve. Exercising regularly, very, very helpful to vagus nerve and autonomic nervous system balance. So there's other things that you can do at home. But the thing that I want you to understand is how much the autonomic nervous system is involved in our health. When it's imbalanced, it produces ill health, even death, even organ failure. And the more that we can keep that in balance, the better and the healthier you're going to be, and the better you're going to feel. So that is what this article is about. And again, chiropractic really helps in this process. So if you're interested in finding out more about the autonomic nervous system, we do talks here every other Tuesday night where I talk about it a lot. And if you have problems, health issues that you're not able to resolve, we have tests that we can run and things that we can do to help with that. So our office number is 402-488-2220. And we're here on Normal Boulevard, 4535 Normal Boulevard here in Lincoln, Nebraska. If you're interested in what we do and you want to know more about how to become healthy, give us a call. We'll be glad to talk to you. We'll see you then.